Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is key to English prepositions. Really, I believe it's the most important video about English prepositions. And basically, you just need to know, some phrases with prepositions and some rules, we're going to talk about them at the end of our presentation too. Some patterns. Okay, so at. Please, my friend, remember, we say at home, at work, at school, at the airport, at university. Then, so different phrases with o'clock, for example, at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and so on. Okay, next. At night, at noon, at midnight, at midday. You know, there are other very important phrases with at, and we need to know them. The thing is that we don't have enough space here, but no problem, we have the second part because it's a full version. So the second part, so phrases with at. So we say at the weekend in British English, but on the weekend in American English. At the station, at the top, at the bottom, at the end of something, and at the beginning of something. For example, at the end of the book, at the beginning of the book. If it's without of, so we don't have of, we say in the beginning and in the end, so you need to remember it. Next, at the party, at the moment. So, and we also say at Easter, at New Year, and at Christmas. Remember, at Easter, at New Year, and at Christmas. There is one very important rule. If you add day after these holidays, you use on. Like here, look. So we say on Christmas Day, because you see day, but at Christmas. On New Year's Day, but at New Year. So, at Easter, but on Easter Day, because of this day. It's a rule, it's English grammar, and you need to remember it, okay? I hope that's clear. Okay, let's talk about in. So, we say in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. Then we use in with years. For example, in 1978, in 1999, so in 2015, and so on. So with years. We also use in with months. So in March, in February, in December, in April, in July, and so on. We also use in with seasons. Students often ask me, how should we say in spring or in the spring? And the answer is very simple. It's correct to say in the spring and in spring. It's also correct. So I mostly meet without that. So in spring, in summer, in autumn, in winter, but in there, with seasons is also possible. Okay, so next, phrases like this one. In the 1980s, so in the 1970s, in the 1990s, and so on. Good. What about on? So we use on with days of the week or with weekdays. For example, on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, on Fridays, on Saturdays, on Sundays. So we say on the weekend in American English. you know that we talked about it. So we say, so at the weekend in British English and on the weekend in American English. So that's the main difference. All right. So we also say on, we also use on with, for example, on Monday morning, on Tuesday morning, on Wednesday morning, and so on. And that's also true about evening. So on Wednesday evening, on Thursday evening, on Friday evening, on Saturday evening. So you need to have this combination. So day of the week and morning or evening. So next, on my birthday. Yeah, and so we don't need on here, and we also actually don't need on here, but that's clear, yeah? So on my birthday. Say on my birthday. Why on? Because of the day. On my birthday. On holiday. So it's the same story like day, yeah? On holiday. So you know that we say holiday in British English, and we mostly meet on vacation in American English. So that's the difference between British English and American English. Okay, so we mostly meet on time. So we mostly meet this preposition with time. Yeah. So what about Christmas Day and New Year's Day? So you see it with on because of the day. On Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, like here on Easter Day. But if you don't have day, so you need to say at Easter, at New Year, at Christmas. Good, very good. Then we use on with dates. For example, you see on the 11th of May. How do we pronounce it? How do we pronounce it really? On the 11th of May, on the 12th of May, on the 13th of May, on the 14th of May, and so on. So many students mispronounce it. So yeah, so if you try to pronounce everything correctly, so for example, I can say that I was born on the 26th of April. So don't forget to use of on the 26th of April. And really, when were you born? You can write, I was born on the 1st of December. I was born on the 2nd of February. I was born on the 3rd of March. I was born on the 11th of, of July. I was born on the 25th of August, and so on. Okay, good, very good. But we also need to look at the second part. Yeah, we forgot to do it with in, so let's do it with in and on, and we'll have a look at by and for after that. So in, let's continue. So we say in a minute or in a second. For example, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a second. Or you can also say I'll be back in 2 minutes, in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes. It's also okay. Okay, so we also say in an hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours. So talking about the future. For example, she'll be back in 2 hours. Okay, next, in 2 days, in 3 days. So good. So you can also hear, so in 5 months, in 2 years. Yeah, so what will be in 2 years, no one knows, for example. Okay, other phrases with in bed, in hospital, in prison, in the street, in the middle. So in the picture, it's a very important phrase. For example, when you want to describe a certain picture or a photo, so more students use this phrase incorrectly. Remember, in the picture, in the photo. For example, what do you see in the photo? What do you see in the picture? Only in. Then, in the beginning and in the end. But at the end of something, at the beginning of something. In the library. Yeah, and some more phrases with on. So on the bus, on the plane, on the ship, on the boat, on the train, on the phone, on TV, or on television, so but we mostly hear on TV, it's a short form, on the radio, on New Year's Eve. on yesterday, on the right, on the left, on foot. These phrases are very important. So often, students often actually misunderstand this phrase on foot. So how do you usually get to work? So you need to say, for example, on foot, on foot. It means that you walk to work. So with your legs. Okay, right. So what about by? So we say by car. So when we travel somewhere, we say, for example, how do you prefer to travel? By car. So the fundamental difference is that after by, you don't use a preposition and you say by car, by train, by ship, by plane, by sea, by air, by land. But of course, if you are going to use, an article, if you're going to use an article, it's another preposition. For example, in a car, so on the train, on the ship, on the plane, so I can swim in the sea, and so on. I mean that, so if you don't have an article, here use by. So if you have an article, like here, so you say on the bus, on the plane, on the ship, on the boat, on the train, but in a car. In a car, you need to remember, in a car. In a car. If it's without a, so you say by car. So by underground, so you know that we also use by with passive voice. For example, by him, by her, the book was written by him. It means that he wrote the book. The book was written by him. By tomorrow, so talking about deadline, talking about your deadline, for example. So when do you need to finish it? By tomorrow. It means that, so not later than tomorrow, not later than tomorrow. So today is the last day, by tomorrow. Or, for example, let's continue, by next week, by next month, by next year. For example, I need to reach a strong advanced level in English or a strong advanced English level by next month, by next year. Okay, and we also have very useful phrases with for a walk. So you can go for a walk, do like going for a walk, for a change. For example, we need maybe to record, a video lesson about articles for a change. So if you want to change something for an hour, so I can't say that I've been recording this lesson for an hour. It's much shorter. For 2 days, so he was away, for example, for 2 days, for 3 weeks, for 2 months, for 5 years. So I have been learning English for 5 years. You note that we often use for with present perfect continuous. Okay, and I think maybe you don't actually see it well, no problem. So I'll make it smaller for you. So by underground, by him, here, by tomorrow, and for breakfast, so for lunch, for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. For breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. So for example, what did you have for breakfast? What do you usually have for dinner? What do you usually have for lunch? And so on. And sometimes you also meet supper. So dinner and supper. All right. So it's a very important thing. So basically, you need to know, these actually most important cases. So when we use prepositions, but that's not all. There is one more very important and maybe the most important thing. Really, I don't understand why other people don't talk about it. So my aim is to help you, understand how to learn English. So really, the first step is that you need to know just these basic phrases, and you need to understand, for example, that in means inside, on, just on the surface, for example, by, so we often use with passive voice, and other cases is the first step. But there are other steps, my friends, too. You also need actually to know about 5 more steps if you really want to be successful in learning prepositions, or if you really want to succeed, so in learning English prepositions and using them effectively in your English conversation. So you need to know different prepositional phrases. You need to know them, you need to memorize them by heart and start with most common ones. For example, at once means immediately, in doubt means I'm not sure, on the whole, in general, by mistake, so it happened accidentally or it wasn't going to happen, for a walk. Yeah, we talked about it, so we can say walk or go for a walk. So you need to pay attention to these prepositional phrases. Secondly, you need to pay attention to prepositions with adjectives. For example, good at. I'm good at English. Interested in. I'm interested in foreign languages. Keen on. I'm keen on music. Then, surprised by or at, you know that we can use surprised with by or at. So, I'm really surprised by your ability to record, so many lessons of supreme quality. Supreme, it means very, very high quality. Verb, so prepositions with verbs, like smile at, so she smiled at me. Succeed in, so I succeeded in learning English in a couple of years. So insist on, I insisted on it. So I told someone to do it and it happened. Abide by. For example, we need to abide by the rules. We need to abide by the rules. We need to follow the rules. Like wait for me. Then nouns plus prepositions. Like look at, it can be a verb, or it can be a noun. So let's have a look at the previous slides. Let's have a look at it. Interest in, so your interest in, so in this thing is difficult to explain. Attack on, so there was a sudden attack on those troops, yeah. So reason for, so what's the reason for doing it? Reason for, and the most important thing, so not maybe the most, but one of the most important thing about phrasal verbs, it's about phrasal verbs. So really, there are lots of verbs with prepositions and we call them phrasal verbs. And they have these verbs a special meaning, and you also need to know them. Like get at can mean suggest. What are you getting at? What are you suggesting? Take in, like deceive. He was taken in, he was deceived. It means that he got into trouble. Put on, so he put on warm clothes, so he had them on his body. Go by, so time goes by. It means time passes. Look for, what are you looking for? What are you trying to find? So to sum up, my friend, please also pay attention to prepositional phrases and prepositions with different parts of speech, so such as adjectives, verbs, nouns, and my friend, don't forget about phrasal verbs too. It's also a very important part of English grammar. So really it's the key to English prepositions. So you need to understand these things, what you need to learn. My aim is to help you understand what's going on in reality. So not only these phrases with time, prepositions of time, place, not only this, but these things too. Yeah? And actually, it doesn't lie on the surface, but it's of great importance, and this fact is undeniable. We can't deny this fact. Thank you very much, my friends, and I wish you good luck. See you. Bye-bye. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and I think you have lots of questions about at, in, on, by, for, and so on. Actually, we need to know these prepositions and prepositional phrases. You just need to know these words, these expressions, and it will help you a lot to speak English correctly and fluently. Okay, let's have a look at the first preposition. So you see at, and we say at with first. At first. For example, yeah, I prepared Very useful examples, especially for you. At first, I'd like to thank you. At first means firstly. I'd like to thank you. At last. She did it at last or in the end. So I really wanted it to happen. At least. I want to earn at least $2,000 monthly. At least means minimum, not less than this sum of money. So $2,000 or more every month. Why not? So it's a good idea. At risk. Your life is at risks. So it's a dangerous situation. So something can happen to her. At a loss. I'm at a loss. So if you say I'm at a loss, it means that you don't know what to do. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. So really, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. Remember this expression. At first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight? So when you see a person and you understand, yeah, really, he or she is my second half. At hand. It's at hand. For example, the pen is at hand. So at hand means near. So it's near. Yeah, it's at hand. Next. At home. Right. We say at home, at work. Please remember these phrases. My father is at home, or I can also say my father is at work. Okay, so once, at once. So it's a very useful expression indeed. I need to do it at once. At once means immediately. So I need to do it immediately, or I need to do it as soon as possible. I need to do it at once. Okay, just let's revise everything shortly. Okay, good. So, at first, I'd like to thank you. Really, I'd like to thank you, my friends, for your support. She did it at last. I want to earn at least $2,000 monthly. Your life is at risk. I'm at a loss. Do you believe in love at first sight? It's at hand. My father is at home. My father is at work. I need to do it at once. Okay, so let's have a look at the second column. So in, we say in a hurry. So when you are busy, when you are very busy, you can say I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry. So I'm very busy. I don't have free time. I have no free time at all. I'm so busy. I'm in a hurry. Okay, hurry up. In addition. So it's a very common expression, especially in speaking. So in addition, or in addition to it, we need to do the following. So it means that I want to add something. So I want to say one more thing, or I want to add one more thing, yeah, that we need to do the following. In any case. In any case. So I have to sign this contract in any case. So I have no choice, and I have to do it. Maybe this situation isn't so pleasant for me, but I need to do it. I have to do it. So I have no choice. So in any case. In short, it was a disaster. Or I can say I want to be short, or shortly, it was a disaster. So I'm not going to actually to talk about it for hours, months, years. I just want to tell you this thing shortly. So it was a disaster. It was a very bad situation. So it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Okay. So I can say in short or in brief. So the thing is that in short is more common. Anyway, in brief can also take place, and it's suitable mostly for, students actually who have a high level. So in brief. So I would say it's a more advanced structure. So in brief, I learn English by myself. So in short or in brief, it's more or less the same. In brief, I learn English by myself. So I want to be brief or briefly, briefly speaking, shortly, shortly speaking, in short. Yeah, it's all the same. Okay, in cash, right? We say in cash. So I'll pay in cash. Or I can ask you, can I pay in cash? Can I pay in cash? I'll pay in cash. Yeah? So not by credit card. So we say by credit card, but in cash. So please remember this very useful expression. In doubt. Yeah, but before it, yeah, what do we have before it? So detail, in detail. Okay? So I will tell you about it in detail. In detail means that I'm going to give you lots of details, not shortly, but it's going to be a very informative talk, story, or conversation. So something which is full of information. So I will tell you about it in detail, so which is full of lots of details. Yeah, in detail. Okay, next, in doubt. Okay, so I'm in doubt. So it means that I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. So I'm in doubt. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Yeah. For example, so I can think, yeah, maybe this method is good. Maybe that method is good. I don't know what to do. So I'm in doubt. In fact, we say in fact. So in fact, it isn't so, or in reality, it isn't so. Okay? So maybe you think that learning English by yourself is impossible. In fact, it isn't so. It's possible, you can do it, and these video lessons are for you. Okay, so different phrases or expressions with on. We say on time. So you see, do you always come there on time? Yeah, but we need to revise it shortly, yeah? We always do it, yeah, for more progress. Okay, just let's do it. I'm in a hurry. In addition to it, we need to do the following. I have to sign this contract in any case. In short, it was a disaster. In brief, I learned English by myself. I'll pay in cash. I will tell you about it in detail. I'm in doubt. In fact, it isn't so. Right, so do you always come there on time? So we mostly say on time, on time. That means not later. Good. On the radio. I heard it on the radio. Yeah, don't forget to put this article there. On the radio. I heard it on the radio. Yeah, so it's on the radio. Good. On the phone. We often talk on the phone. What about you? Do you often talk on the phone? So how many hours a day? Or maybe minutes a day? So it's interesting. It's really interesting to know it. Okay. On TV. On TV. I saw it on TV. It means on television. You know that on TV is more informal, and we mostly say on TV. I saw it on TV. On TV. Good. So what about you? Do you often watch TV, or maybe you prefer actually to use the internet? On a diet. On a diet. I think I need to go on a diet. So remember this phrase, go on a diet. So I need to go on a diet. So I think that maybe I'm overweight and I need to lose weight. So I think I need to go on a diet. Yeah? Good. On a regular basis. A very useful expression. On a regular basis. We need to learn English on a regular basis. or regularly. So I can tell you that we need to learn English more regularly or on a regular basis. It means regularly, more systematically. And regularly, yeah, we need to learn English not only regularly but systematically and effectively. Okay, on foot. Okay, I often go to work on foot. It means that I don't go there by car or by train, by bus, so I walk there. So it can maybe take me more time, but it's very good for my health. I often go to work on foot. Yeah, that's right. Good. So next, on business. He is in China on business. Right. We say on business or on a business trip. So he is in China on business. So he is doing business there. Not as a tourist. Good. On holiday. So we say on holiday. So I'm on holiday. It means that I'm not going to work these days. I'm on holiday. So do you like going on holiday? Good. By accident or by chance. Look, I saw it by accident or by chance or accidentally. It means that I wasn't going to see it. It happened suddenly. Good. So we also say by bus, by train, by plane, by air, by sea, by land, especially when we talk about traveling. Right. Look. So I can ask you, do you like traveling by bus? Or do you like traveling by train, by plane, by air, by sea, by land? Of course, you can say, yeah, so, for example, he is on the bus. So we say on the bus, on the plane, yeah, but it's in another context. But in this context, yes, if we are looking at this context, we use by. So by train, by plane, by air, by sea. So I mean in this context related to traveling. Good. So what's next? By mistake. Yeah, so I can tell you that. For example, I wrote, so by mistakes. So by mistakes I wasn't going to write it, so, and I corrected it. So by mistake, so it was my mistake, I wasn't going to do it, so but it happened somehow. So I called here by mistake. So it means that I was actually calling another person, but I was going to call another person, but I called here by mistake, so it was my mistake, by mistake. Okay, so let's revise it. Okay, and this slide too. Okay, so do you always come there on time? I heard it on the radio. We often talk on the phone. I saw it on TV. I think I need to go on a diet. We need to learn English on a regular basis. I often go to work on foot. He is in China on business. I'm on holiday. I saw it by accident or I saw it by chance. Do you like traveling by bus, by train, by plane, by air, by sea, by land? I called her by mistake. Yeah, and some very useful phrases with for. So do you know that we say for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner? For example, what do you usually eat for breakfast? Or what do you usually eat for lunch? What do you usually eat for dinner? We can also use have, the verb have, in this context. I can also ask you, what do you usually have for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner? So it's okay to say eat for breakfast or have for breakfast. It's okay. Next. So what else? So we also say for sure. For example, I know it for sure. It means I'm really sure. I really know it. For sale. It's for sale. So you can buy it. It's for sale. It's for sale, really. You can buy it cheaply. It's for sale. For fun. I do it for fun. It is funny. It's just so funny for me. I really like doing it. It's so funny. I do it for fun. Yeah, for entertainment. We also say, yeah, you need to see it. I understand that. Okay, let's make it smaller. I got your message. I got your message. I think it's okay now. So you see, for example, and for instance. For example, and for instance. Okay? So I know that we mostly say, for example, but you also need to know that we can say, for example, and for instance. So it's the same. For example, I have so many aims. For example, I want to improve my English greatly. Or you can say, for instance, it's the same. For example, or for instance, I just don't understand why more students, who learn English, they only say, for example, but they never say, for instance, or almost never. It's such a nice expression, such a natural expression. So, for instance, so don't say, for example, all the time. So use, for example, and for instance as well. Okay? Yeah, and the last one. So, for a walk. Yeah, just maybe this we don't need for here. Yeah, so because we have for in the beginning, so we don't need it here. Okay, thank you for understanding. So, for a walk. So we say for a walk. So really, let's go for a walk. Yeah. So the weather is fantastic. Let's go for a walk. Okay, but before it, yeah, we need to revise it. Okay, so what do you usually eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner? I know it for sure. It's for sale. I do it for fun. I have so many aims. For example, for instance, I want to improve my English greatly. Let's go for a walk. Yeah? So I know that you had lots of questions about at, in, on, by, and for, but you also need to keep in mind that you need to know these prepositional phrases if you want to know English, or if you really want to know English and speak it correctly, fluently, and confidently. You can you can put a like and share this video with your friends. Thanks a lot, my friends. I wish you good luck. Bye-bye. Hi, my friends. Welcome to channel English Professionally. And this video is about English prepositions with adjectives, verbs, and nouns. So this video is extremely important, especially for beginners. Okay, basically, you just need to know it, yeah? So you see when we use of, in, from, and other prepositions, okay? And you also see different examples. For example, we say, tired of. I'm tired of my work. Okay, so let me type it for you. I'm tired of my work. So if you use this adjective, tired, so you need to say tired of something. For example, I'm tired of my work, I'm tired of that lesson, and so on. Tired of. Afraid of. So we say afraid of. He is afraid of spiders. He is afraid of spiders. Afraid of. Full of. I am full of interesting ideas. Or I am full of creative ideas. I am full of interesting or maybe creative ideas. So full of, it means that I have lots of interesting or creative ideas. Good. We also say fond of. So if you really like something, for example, you can say, I'm fond of English. So if you say I'm fond of English or I'm fond of sport, it means that you really like it. So you can also say I enjoy English, I enjoy sport. So fond of, you really like it. Good, it's a very good phrase for speaking. So proud of. I'm proud of your results. I'm proud of your results. It means that I'm so happy that you have these results. I'm proud of your results. Interested in, in. So interested in, we say interested in. For example, I can say I'm interested in foreign languages. I am interested in foreign languages. I'm interested in foreign languages. So it's my interest. So don't forget to use the form of the verb to be. I'm interested in foreign languages. So we say believe in God. So believe in. I believe in God. I believe in God. So next, he believes in ghosts. In ghosts. So you believe that it exists. You believe that it exists. But this verb can have another meaning, so we can use it in another context. So I can say I believe you. So I believe you. If you believe a person, you means that you trust. So you trust this person. So I believe you or I trust you. I trust you. Okay? So, but if it's about God, ghosts, something supernatural, yeah, so we say, believe in. Okay, good, very good. So what's next? From. We say different from. For example, his level is different from mine. His level is different from mine. From my level or from mine. So sometimes we see to. So different to is also possible. From or to. But we mostly see from. So if you see different to, don't be surprised to. So his level is different to mine or his level is different from mine. But we mostly say from. Okay, so let's revise it shortly. So I'm tired of my work. He is afraid of spiders. I'm full of interesting ideas. Or I'm full of creative ideas. I'm fond of English. I'm fond of sport. I enjoy English. I enjoy sport. I'm proud of your results. I'm interested in foreign languages. I believe in God. He believes in ghosts. So I believe that God exists. So he believes that ghosts exist. So it's something supernatural, yeah? So, or I can say I believe you. So believe has a meaning of trust here. So I trust you. His level is different from mine. So keen on. For example, I'm keen on music. I'm keen on music. Or I'm keen on reading. So yeah, what is it? It's really weird. Do you know this word weird? Yeah? So you know that maybe you know this word strange, but weird, it means something really interesting and surprising at the same time, okay? Surprising, weird. So something really strange and surprising at the same time. So I know that native speakers use this word very often, yeah? So of course, if you actually see it, so it sounds really weird. Yeah, it isn't right. It isn't right at all. Yeah, no way. No way, my friend. Okay, so let's go on. Well, so I'm keen on, so it means interested in. So, you know, these phrases are extremely useful for speaking. Please, my friend, remember these phrases. So you can say, I am interested in, for example, music. You can say, I am keen on music. Or you can say, I am fond of. I am fond of music, for example. But you know, maybe you have a question, yeah? So what's the difference between these phrases and this phrase is stronger? So it means I enjoy, I really like it. So, you know, if you say I like, it's okay, but try actually to use different phrases. Not only I like, I think it's too simple, my friend. Really, it's too simple. So speak like native speakers do. So I'm fond of it, I enjoy it. Good, very good, my friend. So good, yeah, what about at? So good at, bad at. For example, I can say I am good at chess. It means that I can play chess well, or it can be the opposite thing. So I am bad at chess, or I'm good at English. So I know English really well, so I'm good at foreign languages, and so on. Good. So look at. So if I want you to see something, I can say, so look at this sentence. Look at this sentence, or look at this slide, or for example, you know, look at him, and so on. So if I want you to see something, yeah, so with your eyes, so we say look at. Okay, but so there are other meanings, yeah, so not only at, there are other prepositions, yeah, but actually they have a different meaning. All right, good. So married to, yeah, for example, he is married to her. He is married to her. Listen to, we say listen to. You can say I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy listening to music. I really like listening to music. So listen to. Yeah, and if you use these actually structures with a verb, interested in, keen on, fond of, enjoy, so you need to add ing. So you'll say, I'm interested in listening to music. I'm keen on listening to music. I'm fond of listening to music, and I enjoy listening to music. Maybe you can say, I enjoy learning English here. So enjoy doing. Yeah, and don't forget to add to with listens, also very important. Okay, let's have a look at it one more time. So I'm keen on music. I'm keen on reading. Strange, weird, surprising. I'm interested in. I'm keen on. I'm fond of. I enjoy. I'm good at chess. I'm good at English. Or, for example, I'm bad at chess. I'm bad at English. Look at this sentence. Look at this slide. Look at him. He is married to her. I enjoy listening to music. Good. So we also say belong to and happen to. For example, this house belongs to me. This house belongs to me. It means it's my house. It's my house. Or you can also hear I own this house. So own is a verb here. I own this house. Well, happen to. It happened to me last night. It happened to me last night. So I just don't know, but students often actually use another preposition instead of to. You need to say happened to me. So it happened to me last night. Well, so we also say wait for. So wait for me. Wait for me. Wait for me, I'll be back soon. Yeah, wait for. Or I'm waiting, for example, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. So wait for. So look for. So if you want to find something, so you can say look for. So I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. And look for has another meaning. So it means try to find. I'm trying to find a job. So look for. Well, so famous. Famous for. This city is famous for its history. It means it's famous because of its history. So there is something unique, there is something special, there is something extraordinary in its history. So the city is famous for its history. So reason for. So we often hear this kind of question. So what's the reason for it? What's the reason for it? Or what's the reason for doing it? So why? So do we need to do it? So why does it happen? And so on. What's the reason for it? For. What's the reason for doing it? With. Satisfied with. I'm fully satisfied with my result. So you can say I'm satisfied, or for example, I'm fully satisfied with my result. So it means I'm very happy about it. I'm fully satisfied with my result. Okay, good. So angry. So we can say angry with and angry about. So if it's about people, we say angry with. Angry with. So I am angry. I'm angry with him. Or I'm really angry. I'm really angry with him. So if it's about people, so we use with. So if it's about things or a situation, so we say angry about. So I'm really angry, not with him, but about this situation. About this situation. I'm really angry about this situation. So, and we also say fed up with. So if you don't really like something, if you hate something, you say fed up. So I'm fed up. I am fed up with this routine. I am fed up with this routine. It means that I really hate it. So I'm so tired of it. So I can't tolerate it. So that's enough. Yeah, that's enough for me. I'm fed up with this routine. Good. Okay, so let's have a look at it one more time. So this house belongs to me. So it's my house. I own this house. It happened to me last night. Wait for me. I'm waiting for you. I'm looking for a job. So I'm trying to find a job. This city is famous for its history. What's the reason for doing it? I'm fully satisfied with my result. I'm really angry with him, but about this situation. I'm fed up with this routine. Okay, so you can save it, yeah? So this information, or maybe you can write it down or type. So I just don't know actually. So which one you prefer more? So which type of strategy? Okay, so my friends, I wish you good luck, and I really hope that you'll find actually and basically you find this video extremely useful and informative. So it's full of lots of interesting examples and phrases for speaking English fluently and correctly. Thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we are going to talk about very important English prepositions: on, at, in, by and for. So really, the question is, when should we use on, it, at, by or for? And the thing is that you just need to know these phrases. So if you know these phrases, it will help you to speak English correctly and fluently. Okay, so really, when do we use on? So we use on with, so if you have a look at this table, so you see on Monday. For example, I can say, let's meet on Monday, yeah? So let's meet, okay? Let me type it for you. So let's meet on Monday. Let's meet on Monday, yeah? Or Tuesday, on Tuesday. Let's meet on Tuesday. On Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. So it's very easy to remember that you use on with days of the week. Days of the week, yeah? So, or it can be, for example, on Monday morning. On Monday morning, yeah? So let's meet on Monday, on Tuesday, or let's meet on Monday morning, or maybe on Monday evening. So it's about a certain day, or maybe on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day. For example, let's go there on Christmas Day. Let's go there. Let's go there on Christmas Day. So you might think that we need to say at Christmas, and actually it's absolutely right. So we say, so if you have a look at, we say at Christmas, but on Christmas Day. Please remember these rules. So let's go there on Christmas Day or at Christmas. Please don't confuse these two different prepositions. So at Christmas or on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day. Okay, so next, or on Saturday night. Okay, talking about a certain date, you also need to use on. For example, yeah, so it's the date of my birthday, and you also need to read it correctly, to pronounce it correctly. So you see that it's April 26, but we pronounce it another way. Okay, let me explain it to you. So, for example, yeah, so my date of birth, yeah, so is April 26. So, but when you say that you were born on a certain date or day, so you say, I was born, then you need to put on there, then this date on the 26th, so it's in my case, on the 26th of April in 1986. So please remember this structure. I was born on the. So then you say 26, maybe 21st, 22nd of. Then you need to actually to talk about a month, April, May, December, and a year. But you put in before a year. So I can ask you, so when were you born? So when were you born? When were you born? When were you born? Were you born? Or tell me your date of birth. Tell me your date of birth. And you need to say, yeah, and you need to say, so I was born maybe on the 1st of April, on the 1st of May in maybe 1973, something like that. So please write about it in the comments below, really. When were you born? So I know that many students make lots of mistakes here, yeah, and mispronounce. So they forget to use on, there, or they forget to use th, but you know that there are exceptions. First, second, and third. Yeah, please revise these rules of April. Okay, what is next? So on that day, and two more very common expressions: on holiday, on holiday. For example, he isn't available, he is on holiday. He isn't available. He isn't available. He is on holiday. He isn't available. He is on holiday. Yeah. So if you walk somewhere, so use on foot. For example, I went there on foot. It means that you walked towards a certain place, so you didn't use actually a car, you didn't drive a car, you didn't go there by car, by bus, or something like that. So I went there on foot. So you were walking on foot. Good, very good. Okay, what about in? We say in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So, for example, I usually do it in the evening. I usually do it in the evening, or you can say that I usually learn English in the morning, in the evening, and during the day. So maybe in the afternoon, yeah? So I usually learn English in the morning, in the evening, and during the day. Okay, then in spring, in summer, in autumn, yeah, and in winter, of course, yeah. But you know, sometimes students ask me, so which one is correct? In spring or in the spring? In the spring, okay? So which one is correct? And the fact is that you can say in spring or in the spring. So you know that most people go on holiday in summer. So you see, most people go on holiday. Most people go on holiday in summer or in the summer. You know that I mostly meet in summer, but in the summer is also okay. So you know that we have already talked about it. So on holiday. So most people go on holiday in summer. Okay, good. So in an hour, for example, I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back in an hour or after an hour. So this hour will pass and then I'll be back. I'll be back in an hour, or I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute, okay? I'll be back in a second. I'll be back, so maybe in a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes means in 2 minutes. So these phrases are very natural, yeah, in our conversation. So I'll be back in an hour, in a minute, in a second, in a couple of minutes. Good. So next, so with years, so I was born, for example, in 1986, or it happened in 1999 or so, and in the 21st century, maybe in the 19th century, and so on. Okay, what about at? We use it with time. For example, I got up at 5 o'clock. Yeah? I got up at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's so early. At 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and so on. Yeah, good. So we also say at night, at midnight. So you remember that we say at Christmas, but on Christmas Day, at the weekend. So at the weekend, at the moment, I'm very busy at the moment. I'm very busy at the moment, unfortunately. So you can say unfortunately. Unfortunately, it means it's a pity. It's a real pity. I'm very busy. I'm very busy at the moment. I'm very busy at the moment. Or at the weekend, we can discuss, or we can discuss it at the weekend. We can discuss it at the weekend. We can discuss it at the weekend. So maybe on Saturday, maybe on Sunday. At Easter, you know, it's the greatest religious holiday in Christianity at the moment. At that time, so talking about the past, you can say that at that time I didn't understand that. At that time I didn't understand that. Okay, let me just give you this example. So at that time I didn't understand that. That time I didn't understand that. So home, at home, you know, these expressions are very common. So I'm at home, okay, I'm at work, and you also need to remember I'm at the airport, I'm at the airport. These expressions are very common. So what about by and for? So I know that students often confuse by. So if you go to a certain place, you can say that I went there by car. So I went there by car. I went there by car, by bus. So you see, without any articles, I went there by car, by bus. Okay, so you see that you can also say by train, by sea, by air. For example, I can ask you, do you like traveling by car? Do you like traveling by car? Do you like traveling? Do you like traveling by car? Do you like traveling by car? So yeah, you can say yes, I really like it. So do you like traveling by sea? So please remember these prepositions, yeah? So, but in fact, so you can say that in a car, we say in a car. So if you use it with an article, for example, you say in a car, so, and on a bus, on a train, yeah, you need to remember it. So on the bus, or on the bus, on the train, and in a car. For example, when you're talking about a person's location. So he's in the car, he's in the car, he's on the bus, he's on the bus, he's on the bus. We mostly hear these things. But talking about general things, you see by car, by bus, by train, by sea, about sending some things, about traveling, and so on. Then, so we use by with passive voice when the action was done by someone. For example, the book was written by him. So the book was written by him or by her. By her, we use it with passive voice. Passive voice. By. It means that he wrote the book or she wrote the book. So it's very common with passive voice. And then you also need to remember these expressions by mistake. So I made it by mistake. It means that I wasn't going to do it. Or by chance, by accident. So I met my friend by accident. Or by chance or accidentally. So I wasn't going to meet him, and so you see it. Okay, what about for? We often use for with, for example, for a week, for an hour, for a year. So you know that there is one very widespread phrase. So I've been learning English for 2 years. Yeah. So you say. So, or you can hear this kind of question: how long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English? And you can hear I've been learning English for, or for a year, for 2 years, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 3 months, and so on. So it means like, you know, during. And also for breakfast. For example, what did you eat for breakfast? What did you eat for lunch? What did you eat for dinner? And one more very popular phrase or expression, for a walk. For a walk. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. It means let's go out. Let's go out. I have a dog, and you know that I often go for a walk, yeah, with my dog. So let's go for a walk, or I can tell my friend, yeah, let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. Let's go out. So I need to go out. I need to breathe fresh air. Okay, so I found this information extremely useful. So you can spread this information with your friends. You can put a like, yeah, and you just need to remember these phrases to speak English more correctly and more naturally. Okay, thanks a lot, my friends, for your support. Thanks a lot. And I think that you really like the idea of this video and this video itself. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video course is very special. So it's about prepositional phrases for all the levels you might need, so not only for beginners but also for these levels, I mean intermediate and advanced. So really you'll see and hear lots of useful information. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to know this information? So the thing is that you need to know these prepositional phrases to speak English correctly and fluently. Okay, let's look at some prepositions with on, so you need to remember it. On suspicion of, so you can listen and repeat. On holiday, on vacation, on purpose, on tiptoe, on no account, on a diet, on approval, on behalf of, on time, on business, on edge, on the verge of, on a trip or on a business trip, on a journey, on condition that, on the phone, on average, on the part of, on pension, on paper, on the brink of, on the agenda, on occasion, on someone's initiative, on the assumption, on sale, on the grounds of, on the horizon, on the edge of, on the hour, yeah, on an island, on fire, on file, on good terms, on strike, on a regular basis. Good. Let's look at the prepositions within. In view of, in love with, in defense of, in disguise, in charge of, in terms of, in response to, in brief, in a sense, in reality, in action, in hand, in distress, in progress. Okay, let's continue. In confusion, in advance, in the end, in the beginning, in a deep sleep, in agreement with, in existence, in retrospect, in general, in the meantime, in trouble, in debt, in the form of, in tears, in poverty, in favor of, in honor of, in fact, in danger, in theory, in earnest, in the long run. Yeah, so we need to see in the short run, not short, but short run, in the short run. So S-H-O-R-T, in the short run. In person. In abundance. In accordance with. In secret. In the absence of. In blossom. In conclusion. In disorder. In a hurry. In vain. In custody. In short. In other words. In relation to. In cash. In silence. In connection with. In question. In public. In decline. In future. In practice. In detail. In doubt. In isolation. In harmony. In a mess. In the eyes of. In private. In particular. In demand. In disgrace. In comparison with or to. In moderation. In addition to. In pursuit of. In collaboration with. In pieces. In return. In search of. In essence. In contrast with, in contrast to. So if you look at these prepositions, so we see really lots of prepositional phrases with in, much more than with by, for, at, and at anyway. So we also need to pay attention to this preposition too. Okay, let's look at this preposition, I mean by. Okay, so by chance, by law, by force, by order of, by air, by sea, by land, by nature, by no means, by hand, by mistake, by means of, by heart, by far, by request, by oneself, for example, by myself, by himself, by yourself, and so on, by my watch, by birth, by accident, by all means, by degrees, by surprise. Okay, so we have already talked about the following prepositions, I mean on, in, by. Let's have a look at for granted, for fear of, for the good of, for the sake of, for life, for some reason, for some reasons, for good, for sure, or for certain, for a change, for real, at noon, at the peak of, at the expense of, at the latest, at length, at a distance, at times, at night, at the top of, at the bottom of, at once, at odds with, at random, at all costs, at present, at the end of something, at the beginning of something, at a discount, at all events, at a standstill, at the age of, at any rate, at a glance, at a loss, at ease, at heart, at work, at most, at any cost, at home, at sea, at least, at the thought of. And we also see at a disadvantage, at hand, so we also see at hand, and at a high speed. Okay, my friends, you see that these prepositional phrases are for all levels, for beginners, intermediates, and advanced students. And I hope that most of these prepositional phrases are familiar to you. Anyway, I believe that it's a good idea to make up your own examples. For example, you know this prepositional phrase on holiday, and you can say, or you can write it down, I'll go on holiday next month, or I'll go on holiday soon. Right. So what else can you see? For example, so in reality, for example, you can write, one sentence or one phrase, or you can write a couple of phrases or two phrases. For example, I'd like to learn English in a month. In reality, or in fact, in reality, it isn't so easy to do it. Okay? It isn't so easy to do it. Yeah. Well, so, or for example, you can write, I did it by mistake, or I did it by accident, I did it accidentally. Okay, so if you make up your own sentences, it will help you memorize these things much better. So I hope that you'll do your best. Anyway, if you have no time for it, don't worry. The most important thing is that you know these prepositional phrases, and so sooner or later, really, I believe so, you'll meet them or you'll hear them. Okay, so I think that you can write it down or save it. So I just don't know actually what is better for you. But anyway, okay, my friends, so if you want more examples, and if you want more prepositional phrases, and if you want prepositional phrases maybe just for beginners or just for this intermediate level or an advanced level, let me know, and I'll try to prepare something useful for you too. Thank you, my friends, very much. Thank you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is about English prepositions with nouns. So I'm sure, yeah, it will help you a lot to speak English fluently and correctly. And basically, you just need to know this information. So there are some nouns, and we need to use a certain preposition after them. For example, reason. So we say reason for. Just let me give an example. What's the reason for it? And let me type it for you, okay? What's the reason for it? So we say reason for. So what's the reason for it? So why does it happen? Or why did it happen? So if there is a verb after reason, so you need to use ing. Look, what's the reason for doing it? What's the reason? What's the reason for doing it? So we say reason for doing something. It means that, so why should we do it? So why should we do it really? What's the reason for doing it? So what's the reason for learning English so intensively? Just, it's a simple actually answer. We need to learn it fast. Okay? Next, demand for. So there was a growing demand for those goods. There was a growing demand for those goods. Okay? So you see, so the demand was getting. or was becoming so bigger and bigger. So growing demand for those goods or for those products. Good. So what about to? So, students often make mistakes with this preposition. We say solution to. So, for example, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to solve this problem, and you can say this kind of actually sentence, or you can ask this kind of question. So, what's the solution to this problem? What's the solution? What's the solution to this problem? It means, how can we solve this problem? Solution to. What's the solution to this problem? Remember this expression, solution to a problem. Good. Answer to. Okay, what's the best answer to this question? Okay, good. So what's the best? What's the best answer to this question? What's the best answer to this question? So we say answer to. Okay, what's the best answer to this question? Okay, next, objection to. Okay, good. So I had no objection. I had no objection to doing it. It's one more tricky question. So I had no objection to it, or to doing it. So it's about grammar, yeah? So you need to remember objection to doing something, yeah? It's an exception. So we mostly say to plus verb, but we see to plus verb plus ing. I had no objection to doing it, yeah? Without to. I had no objection to doing it. Well, so it means that it was okay. So I thought, yeah, it's okay, we can do it. So, good. So, attitude. So we say attitude to or towards. For example, what's your attitude towards smoking? Or what's your attitude? What's your attitude? You can say to or towards smoking. What's your attitude towards smoking, or what's your attitude to smoking? It's okay. Okay, just let's revise it shortly. So what's the reason for it? What's the reason for doing it? There was a growing demand for those goods. What's the solution to this problem? What's the best answer to this question? I had no objection to doing it. What's your attitude to smoking or towards smoking? Good. So what's your attitude? It means, so what do you think about actually smoking? What's your opinion about it? What's your attitude towards smoking? Okay. Next. So addiction. For example, addiction to. He couldn't hide his addiction to the internet. He couldn't hide his addiction to the internet. It means that so other people could see it very easily, so he couldn't hide his addiction to the internet, so it was obvious. Next, so answer to, yeah, it's just don't know actually why we repeat it for the second time. Just let's skip it. Okay, thanks for understanding. Reply. Okay, so I've already replied to her letter. Okay, I've already replied to your letter. So reply to. I've already replied to her letter. Right. So what's next? So we've already corrected it. So just we see this word just one time, answer. And so the next word, yeah. So difference and connection between. So students often ask me, for example, what's the difference between these two words? Okay. So what's what's the difference between these two words? What's the difference between these two words, or what's the difference between these two expressions? It's a very common question. So difference between. Okay, connection between. Okay, what's the connection between these two accidents? What's the connection? What's the connection between these two accidents? So what's the connection between? So how are these things connected? What's the connection between them? So next, so lack of and cause of. For example, why didn't you do it? And you can say, so lack of free time. Lack of free time. So lack can be a verb. So you can say, I lack free time. Or you can say, lack of free time is a real problem for me. Is a real problem for me. It means that you don't have enough free time. So you can say, I don't have free time, I have no time, I have no free time, or I lack free time, or lack of free time is a real problem for me. So it sounds very natural. So just need to remember lack of. It's a noun here. So cause of, usually cause of an accident. For example, what was the cause of his death? Okay, what was the cause of his death? So it's similar to the word reason. The fact is that we say cause of an accident. So cause of. What was the cause of his death? Okay, just let's revise it shortly. So he couldn't hide his addiction to the internet. Yeah, I've already replied to her letter. What's the difference between these two words? What's the connection between these two accidents? I lack free time. Lack of free time is a real problem for me. What was the cause of his death? So in, increase in, decrease in. For example, there was an increase in sales. So there was an increase in sales. So the opposite word is decrease. So increase means growth, so more sales, and decrease, it's the opposite word. So there was a decrease in sales. You can also use these words. So drop, rise, or fall. Drop in, rise in, fall in. Okay? So there was, yeah? For example, just let me give you another example. There was. So you can say an increase, or a rise, or a fall, not drop. Drop, it's another word. A fall in demand. In demand. It means that, so there was less demand in the end. So there was a rise, drop, fall in demand. Okay? Good. So increase. So actually, so it means more, like rise, and decrease means less, like drop and fall. It's less than it was. Okay? So, and so two more, yeah, extremely important words and phrases: satisfaction with and dissatisfaction with. So, for example, I experienced a feeling of dissatisfaction. And then we'll continue it. I experienced a feeling of dissatisfaction with their service, for example. So I experienced a feeling of dissatisfaction with their service, yeah? Or on the contrary, So you can say I experienced or I had, let me give you just another example. So I had some kind of satisfaction with my results. I had some kind of, it's a very natural phrase for speaking, satisfaction with my results. Okay, so I had some kind of satisfaction with my results. It means that I was satisfied. I was satisfied with my results. Yeah, I was satisfied with my results. And here means that I was dissatisfied with my results. I was dissatisfied with my results. I wasn't happy about my results at all. Okay, so let's revise it. So there was an decrease in sales, good. So there was a rise, a drop, a fall in demand. I experienced a feeling of dissatisfaction with their service, so I was dissatisfied with their service. Or I had some kind of satisfaction with my results, so I was satisfied. I was satisfied with my results. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. Yeah, please pay attention actually to these words and preposition, and I'm sure it will help you a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.